Bayo to me is the thing I'm the most proud of in my life that I was able to work on. And I think at the core, it was always about creating a project that's shared. So like Bayo, when you translate it from Creole, literally means like give it to them to give. And so as a kid, I remember growing up in Port-au-Prince and everything that you'd see on the news about the country and the people was negative, except for the Fujis. So the only exception in all of the world of Haiti, when there was conversation, it was always in a negative way, except for music and what the Fujis did and what Wyclef and like the pioneers at that time. I think of immigrant sound, and I thought that that was so powerful. How music could be a vehicle for changing perspectives and also creating a sense of identity and pride in your own culture. And so that was really important to me in the process of me being a DJ and a producer, getting to work with a lot of different artists, doing my own projects, right? Working with artists that were in visual art, dancers, singers, bands, all these different. I noticed that like as a producer and as a DJ, I was able to work with a lot of different types of people. And the conversation would keep coming up that people wanted to find ways to really uplift the country. And so um, I think it's a very Haitian experience, but I realized later it's an immigrant experience, and really it's like a shared experience of all of the diasporas globally, right? And so I I realized, okay, if I have the chance to meet all these people and work on projects like this, and I know how to DJ, and I've done my own parties and stuff, I want to come up with a concept that lets all of these different people come together and creates a genuine community that you can be proud to be part of, and that if you're of the culture, if you're somehow related to Asian culture, you're going to see yourself somewhere in the show. And if you're not in any way related to Asian culture, and maybe you're visiting, it's the first time experiencing it, I wanted to create a format that really made it accessible so that it can really distill all of the beautiful parts of, I think, the Haitian experience, the Caribbean experience, the immigrant experience. And so yeah, in a way it's a show. It definitely is like a concert, but it also in so many other ways it incorporates a much bigger format of culture. Like it expands way past even into food, and I think that to me that's like when I go to an event, I love going to an event and feeling like I could never. I'm so happy I didn't miss it. Like I'm so happy I was there for that moment. I'm so happy I could experience that moment, and I think those kinds of experiences really stay with you, and they transform you and they expand your mind. So that's what I always try to do for every one of these shows. I don't do them often, but when I do them, I really make sure to make it special. The same weekend that the first concept, like the V.1 of Bayo, the very first version of the show, was the same weekend that we made the song. So I went from Matenois in Lagonave, which is the island in the center of Haiti. And I worked with a school there called Friends of Matenois. It's an organization, and it was like a elementary school, but also a music school. And so I met an artist there called Strong G. He's a rapper, and I went there first with Washi Fire from Major Lazer, a group called the Beat Making Lab, Apple Music and Apple were shooting a documentary. So we went there, worked with the students of the school, and then we flew to Jacmel and worked with the Artist Institute that I'd been working with for a bit. And yeah, just met all these different people. Jay Perry was at the Artist Institute that same time, so introduced him to Strong G, and we all worked together, and the very first version of Bayo was created. And then we went to dinner at a restaurant on the boardwalk at the beach in Jacmel. And after we finished eating, I was like, oh, we should play some music. So I went outside, and then somebody was like, hey, I have my car, we can plug in. And we plugged in the audio into the laptop, turned on the lights in the street with the car, and just started playing music. And people started coming. And then when I saw that, I realized, oh, there's something very special about the feeling of all these different people coming together. And it was a surprise for the public because the people outside in the street, they didn't know what was happening. They're just like, what's that noise? And then they look around and they say, oh, wow, it's like, there's music, there's a performance. And I think it was all linked. And the song, we actually immediately played the song at that show. So I think that, yeah, Bayo, the song, and Bayo, the event, they're like, so yeah, I think that that's one of the kind of unspoken parts of the show now is the lineup. I wanted to create an event where the lineup doesn't have to be ever posted. And it's actually like I work really hard to make sure people don't know who's going to perform because I think the experience of Bayo is the experience from the beginning of the performances to the end of the performances. So the entire thing is Bayo. It's not just one artist, one guest. It's everything as a whole. And I'm really grateful because the first shows were a couple hundred people and now we're getting into, places where we played in an arena, we did Barclays Center, we're doing Parc Jean Drapeau. It's
It's
like,
crazy.
it's like thousands, tens of thousands of people now. So I feel like little by little over the last 9 years, uh, people would come to the show, love it, and invite a friend, maybe invite two friends, maybe invite five friends. And it just grew really organically. And I think every time anybody comes to the show, they don't know who's gonna be there, and I love that. And I love that they experience, they buy into the experience, they understand the experience, they understand that it's like it's about the community. So yeah, that's so important to me. I worked really hard on that, and I'm proud to see that people understand and know that whatever they see, they know it's gonna be quality. They know it's gonna be really special. They know it's gonna be like really incredible art. So yeah, no different for this show. And actually, it's the biggest one we've ever done in Montreal. So I can't wait for people to experience. But like I really love Montreal. I think it's like one of my favorite cities actually because it's an amazing artist community, and I think that it's something that I actually really admire about that city is how much there is support for the arts and how much like it feels like everybody you meet actually is an artist in a way, in their own way. And so that makes the crowd really passionate. I think when you do shows, you really feel like this is like your peers. Like when you're playing a show in Montreal, it feels really, really special. So I for that reason, just for the show side, it's just always incredible. And then I think the food is amazing. Every time I'm in Montreal, I always pass by to see Chef Paul. And he has a bunch of different restaurants, but I the one that he has on the Place, forgot what it's called, but it's
Kamui.
like yeah, Kamui, Kamui, of
Yeah.
course. So and even before when he had Agricola and yeah, I mean, I've been coming back and trying different places,
Before
seeing
that,
different
it was
places.
Agricole.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Oh,
So
okay, you know the good addresses.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been exploring, and it's cool too. Like I feel like I've made a lot of friends out there, and um, yeah, I for sure love the city very much, and it feels like an extension of home. I think I love food as much as I love music, and a big part of that is because of my mom. And my mom was very, very passionate about both. And so I think that in her honor, um, I will definitely do something along those lines in the future. And I think with the John Legend conversation, it felt it felt like a conversation that I've had with many friends over the years, but we just filmed it instead. And I think that part of being able to sit at a table and really talk to somebody and talk about a lot of different things, right? You talk about culture, you talk about politics, you talk about history, right? All of those things, I think, really they they're things that naturally, I think, as a human, you gravitate towards, and empathy is at like the core of it. So definitely thinking about it. So I don't have anything to say yet, but I'm working on something. I think from my list of releases in the last 3 years, I actually just put out a collection of songs called Fami Volume One. And so if you go on any platform, you'll find it. And a lot of those songs are gonna be performed at the show. So I can say that. And then of course Bayo. If you don't know Bayo, listen to that. I think the message, you can find translated. If you speak Creole, you don't need the translation. But if you don't speak Creole, there's translated lyrics that you can find online. And I think the lyrics and the message of that song is really important and a reminder of why we're doing what we're doing. So
Mm.
if you don't know it, please check it out. That's like the anthem of the show. Honestly, yes. Honestly, yeah. But I enjoy it. I enjoy it, and I think that what's really helpful is because I kind of feel like I have like five careers because I do DJing for the show, but I also DJed for 15 years of my life. I've been DJing since I was 15, 16 years old, so it's been forever. I've been doing that. And I've played thousands of shows now, but I think that that is one part. And then as a producer, I actually work with so many different artists. And sometimes it's for me, but actually most times I produce for other people. And my name is not on the song. My name is as a producer, writer. So I'm always working with artists and I'm always being exposed to new sounds and rhythms and um, just expanding. So I think that that part of the the format of like my life is really helpful because then I do some, a little bit of DJing, a little bit of production, a lot, marketing and figuring out the show concept and then like stage design and then coordinating all the stuff with the different aspects of the show. And now we have like a full-time dance choreographer, Tanyoa, and we like work through that. And so I feel like even that, right, like constantly working with Tanyoa and talking about the dance part of the show and like with the music and fitting everything together, it's really helped with creating a very special show. So I I think that the other thing too with DJing is it's kind of like wine. Like it's like the longer it ages, like when you've had more time to just be in the scene and like experience more shows, I feel like your palette and your understanding of music expands. And honestly, the best DJs that I've ever seen, their song selection is really special, even more than the technical. It's the song selection, the timing, and the understanding of like what needs to be at that specific moment. And I think you learn that with experience and with time. So like the best DJs I know are actually like older. They're all like people who've been DJing for a very long time. And so that's such a cool experience to now have been doing even with Bayo, 9 years of Bayo. Um, it's helped. It's helped a lot. So I feel like it makes the show feel. It feels like it has a history, and I feel like when you go to a show with a history, it makes it feel very grounded, rooted, like deep and special.
Mhm.
If there's a silver lining to the immigration of Haitians right now, and all of the horror stories that we're hearing, and the sadness that comes from having to be displaced from your home, if there's a silver lining from it, I think that the stories of all of these people in major cities, right? Miami, Montreal, New York, Boston, Paris, all of these epicenters of culture. And I think like stories that you hear, so many of them are focused on these places. And now Haitians are so deeply ingrained in the culture of all of these places. It's actually really incredible to see at every stage, like not even of course with entertainment and I think there's a lot of examples of breakthrough artists recently that are doing incredible work at international level in entertainment, but even outside of entertainment with doctors, lawyers, chefs, strategists in every kind of career now, right, of Haitian descent. That's going to shape a lot. And I think that that's the thing that's happened in maybe the last 20 years that is now really starting to show itself. And I think it's why you're seeing Haitian culture really starting to influence a lot. And it's unavoidable. And I think in the next few years, it's only going to get more impactful. And maybe there's even some stuff that I'm working on that I can't talk about that's pretty big that's going to come soon. So I feel like the future for Haitian culture is very bright. And I think that's the silver lining for me is the culture survives it all because we find ways to reconnect even if we're displaced, even if we're in different different parts of the world, right? But the culture is universal. The culture will keep us connected. That's like our fabric now. And I feel hopeful. I feel hopeful. And I think that'll also give us strength to do more back home in the future too. Ça me garde ça. So, ça me fait dire là, c'est, moi, c'est dans le moment ça, avec tout immigrant haïtien. Et histoire que nous, sous immigrants haïtiens, il y a un peu bah, qui fait nous vraiment tristes, qui traumatique. Et je pense que même dans le moment ça, côté tout bah, triste comme ça positif là-dedans, c'est que tout immigrant qui est dans différentes cités, tout autour du monde, grosses cités, Miami, New York, Boston, Montréal, Paris, un pile l'autre, ça a passé qu'on y a, et pendant peut-être 20 dernières années, nous voyons qu'il y a un pile influence haïtienne dans tout côté qu'on y a. Et là, ouais, influence haïtienne dans le niveau ça, que nous avons un peu l'histoire de succès dans tout domaine qu'on y a, dans tout domaine net, international, dans danse, dans sport, et dans musique, et avec docteur, avocat, tout bail net, ouais que qu'on y a influence haïtienne, yo pas qu'à ou pas qu'à aller en côté ou pas ouais haïtien. Et pour
Vrai.
moi-même, ça sont pas vraiment important parce que ça a créé, et ça, c'est pas que les a créé, c'est l'a créé, les gains a créé un changement de culture et que nous, ouais, que musique là a mené que nous, ouais, et en plus succès dans la musique, en plus succès dans différents domaines, ça, yo. Et néo ça, dans le sport, il y a un peu l'histoire, ou quand juste mettre haïtien, taper haïtien sur Google, après un peu le bail. Et moi, c'est pour, si il y a un bail positif qui arrive pour culture haïtienne, c'est ça. Et je pense que avec toute histoire, ça, yo, succès, ça, yo, dans la culture, nous avons un mouvement qu'on a et nous connecter. Et je pense que avec connexion, ça, yo, la créer en façon pour nous faire changement. La carrière. So, pour moi-même, c'est comme ça que je pense que même dans un moment difficile, ça, yo, que gen en lumière devant, que nous allons suivre, que nous connaissons que si nous continuons à travailler et si nous continuons à évoluer dans ce qu'on a fait, que nous allons créer un changement dans le futur qui est vraiment impossible pour le monde essayer et dire non, il n'est pas possible. Non, il est possible. Donc, moi-même, ça c'est gens que je pense, vraiment content que Bayo ait un événement, ben, puis passer un événement, ben, c'est en communauté que tout le monde a vraiment senti inspiré, que a senti que avec on va comme ça, que n'importe qui va possible.